Yo, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Traffic and Funnel Show. My name is Bryant, and we are actually closing out a decade today. 2019 is over, and we're rolling into 2020. We've got some serious momentum here at Traffic and Funnels. Lots of stuff happening. In 2019, it was a banner year for the company. We tripled revenue. We quadrupled our team, and there's just a lot of cool things going on. So we invite you on every podcast to come along with us on the journey of growing to be a better human, to build a business, to be successful. There's all kinds of things that we're pushing forward for in 2020, and we want you to be a part of those. That being said, today's episode is actually from Chris Evans, and he was in his car thinking about 2020, thinking about what's coming up in the future. And he recorded this little segment talking about how to up-level your thinking. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, the way you think is probably the most important asset that you have. So if you're not spending time zooming out and looking at the way you think, you're actually missing a huge opportunity to be laser focused and hit those goals that you've set for yourself in 2020. But how you think actually determines how you feel. We talk about these things a lot. Taylor teaches a lot of mindset, different trainings and things that he's done on this topic, but how you feel actually determines the way you act. So if you want to hit a certain target, if you want to grow your business to a certain size, if you want to become a certain type of person, you have to zoom out and look at how you're thinking, because that's going to change everything. So in this episode, Chris actually talks about 3 of the most powerful ways to increase your level of thinking. And he talks about inputs, macro and micro, and also how to leverage worst case scenario thinking to really get the results you want. So be sure to listen to this episode. Also, something that's really cool. This is actually a first in the history of TNF, but we've put together a product directory. So if you followed us for a while, you know we have a ton of products like our Facebook ads workshop, Insiders Access Monthly, copywriting masterclass, offer building masterclass, event recordings. There's all kinds of products that we have. You've probably seen ads for these. You've seen them in emails, but for the first time ever, we've taken all of these products and we're putting them on our website. So if you go to trafficandfunnels.com/products, you can find them all. We're going to be releasing a few every week here in January, but right now there are 6 products available. That's trafficandfunnels.com/products. And you can find all the resources you need to build a successful business and become a more optimized human. So check those out. Again, it's trafficandfunnels.com/products. Now on to today's episode with Chris Evans on how to up-level your thinking.
You're listening to the Traffic and Funnels Show.
Today, I wanted to talk about thinking and the process of thinking and how important thinking is in business and life. And not only the importance of it, but it is a requirement for you to be successful in business and life. So I want to ask you, what are you thinking about right now? Here's the deal. Your level of thinking determines your outcome, right? Determines your outcome and how long it will take you to get there. So this is something that in the past, as we've grown our business, we haven't, I feel like, put enough importance on our level of thinking, and not only our level of thinking, but also our quality of thinking. And if you can get this right, then it can change the game for you. Not only in business, not only as an entrepreneur, not only as a leader, not only as a growth person, but also personally. Okay. So how you think determines how you feel. How you feel determines how you act. This is very, very crucial. So if you're not taking the time in your life, in your business, to think critically, think at a high level, then you probably will recognize some bad patterns, some bad habits, some bad behaviors, right? That all cascades down to your feelings, your emotions. How you feel determines how you're going to act. So it all starts, that first domino is your thinking, how you think about yourself, how you think about the world, how you think about your business, how you think about the future, right? These are the things that you have to have in line. You have to have a high level of thought processes to help motivate you so your feelings are in line with what it takes to act the right way, okay? So what I want to do is I want to give you 3 ways to increase your levels of thinking. 3 ways to increase your levels of thinking. Number 1, have the right inputs. Have the right inputs. So what does that mean? So many people in the world today, they have the wrong inputs, or they don't have any inputs at all, or their diet of inputs is very, very minimal. If you want to be successful in life or in business, you have to have a lot of inputs. Now, there is, I'd say, macro inputs, and then there's micro inputs. Macro inputs is you're just taking a lot of stuff in. It could be about any kind of random topic. It could be a great topic, but I choose to focus now on being more disciplined in my inputs. And so really for me, I look at what my goals are for the next 30, 60, 90 days, and even to the next year. And what are the inputs that I need to have to help me achieve that goal as fast as possible? So for example, for me, I have a multi-million-dollar company, multiple companies actually. And so I have to be a great leader to work through other people. So for me, the right input is just a study of leadership and how to motivate people and how to persuade people. And so I could go out and I could study all kinds of random things, but I want to be a lot more micro in what I'm taking in so my outputs can be great, right? If I have the right thinking processes on how to be a great leader, then I'll feel good about that. And then my actions should result in great output. So number one, have the right inputs. What are the inputs that you're having right now? The other thing with the negative inputs is so many people, they have so much negativity coming into their life. And of course, if you're always consuming the news, if you're always consuming negative stuff, we've talked about this before. You guys know our spiel in this. If you're around people that are negative, right, what's going to happen? That's going to negatively affect how you feel. And if you don't feel good, the chances of you acting well, having the right behaviors, the right actions, probably going to be very, very minimal, right? So you want to control your inputs, not just the content that you're studying, the micro versus macro, but also the positive versus negative, right? So make sure that you don't have negative inputs. Just shut it all out. Just tune out the noise, tune out the things that weigh you down and bring down your emotions, okay? This is very, very important if you want to be successful in life and in business. All right, number two, visualize going through the problem first. So as an entrepreneur, as a leader, whether again, it's in business or it's in life, the thing that you want to do is you want to visualize as much as possible going through the process of whatever you want to accomplish, okay? So, for example, let's say I want to launch a new product. Well, it would be a terrible idea of me to go ahead and just launch out without even thinking through the process first, okay? I want to go through this process first of launching a product mentally before I do it physically. So what does that mean? That means that I can poke holes. I can look three-dimensionally at how I get to my outcome. It's quick and as efficient and with the least amount of risk as possible, right? So hopefully I can evaluate, I can look at the holes in my game before I actually step out onto the battlefield, okay? What is my strategy? What are my tactics? Who's a part of the team? What are the resources that I need? What are the potential issues that I might have? And so this is why and how we develop our worst case thinking principles and methodologies that we teach our team and our clients is if we start with the end in mind, and I want to launch this new product, and let's say this new product, I want to make $500,000. Well, what's the worst case scenario, the process for me to get there? Right? I want to go through this process mentally first. I want to start at the end with 500,000 being my end goal and work backwards. And then I want to evaluate, I want to look at the risk, right? I'm actually visualizing the process of me going through and physically doing that. What does that look like mentally, right? Because if you guys have studied the book Psycho-Cybernetics, this is something we've talked about in the past. Your brain does not know the difference between what physically happens and what visually happens. Now, you have this benefit, you have this powerful weapon to visualize the process, okay? Visualize the process first, and hopefully, you can poke holes in your game before you actually get out on the battlefield. And what that means is you reduce, or you hopefully reduce the amount of risk that you might incur when you actually start, when you actually go out and you hire the people and you spend money on advertising, you spend time developing your funnels and writing your emails and your copy. You've already gone through the process visually. Very, very powerful and very important. So number one, have the right inputs, right? Those are going to help your emotions, help how you feel. Visualize going through the process first. Visualize a problem. So whether you're launching something new, whether you're optimizing, whether you're scaling, whatever it might be, visualize the conversations. Visualize the whole process first before you actually physically do it. That way you have a mental battle plan that you can get onto paper, and then you can get into process. Number 3, surround yourself with high-level thinkers and accomplishers. I don't think it's enough just to surround yourself with brainiacs, right? Because again, if they don't actually have the action and they haven't been on the battlefield, then it's all just conjecture, right? That's not enough. You have to be around people who are actually doing things. They're reading the books, they're getting mentored, they're studying the courses, but they're going and getting on the court, they're playing ball. So this is really, really important, because then what you have is an understanding, right? Then you'll have a camaraderie. People can understand where you've been, where you're at, and where you're going. And this is really, really powerful in up-leveling your thinking. I'm gonna give you a bonus, okay? A sweet bonus for you guys. Design who you want to be a year from now, and that is your competitor. Design who you want to be a year from now, and that is your competitor. So what does that look like? How much money you want to be making, what your relationships look like, what your behaviors are every day, every week, every month. And that is who you are competing against, right? Think if, back in the day, if Jordan didn't have Kobe, right? There wasn't that competition, right? They might not be as good. So you want to design that mentally for yourself. Who is your future version? Compete against that person. Now, this is one of the top reasons why we surround ourselves with people like Jay. He's been in the game for a really long time. Okay, so we have the ability to think about a problem, and not only think through the problem, right, which is very, very key. Like, that's first. It's our responsibility to think through our problems, our issues. And as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, even in life, you're always faced with problems. And if you are continuing to grow, the problems will increase, right? So we have the ability, when I say we, I mean everybody, especially in the Western world, to go out and get people who are seasoned vets. They've been on the battlefield. They've been on so many battlefields. It's insane. And they've lived to tell the stories. So what Taylor and I do is we go out and we look at our problems. We survey our businesses. What are the top things that we need to be thinking about, thinking through, thinking around 3-dimensionally. And then at that point, we take it to someone like Jay and say, Jay, here's how we're thinking about this. Are you in alignment with that? How would you poke holes in this? What are we not seeing, right? Because our goal is we want to be wrong as little as possible. We want to be wrong as little as possible. And so if we can reduce that risk to a minimum, that means our chances of success are really, really high, right? What does Warren Buffett say about the number one rule to investing? Don't lose money. So it's the same with business. You don't want to lose money. You want to reduce your risk to a minimum. You want to reduce your potential risk of not just losing money, but losing time. And when you start to think like this, you start thinking first, and you think at a deep level, high quality, then it will project you. It will push you forward, because when your thinking is sharp and you're locked in, you have the right inputs. Not only, you might be consuming the macro stuff, but you have great micro specific stuff to where you want to be in life and in business. You have positive inputs. You shove out the negative. You're visualizing the problem, and you're surrounding yourself with high thinkers and doers. Then your chances of success have just gone up. So don't be lazy. Most people are extremely lazy in their thinking. They think in the gutter. They think low level. And that is why most of the people don't accomplish much in life, not only in business, but in life, because their level of thinking is so low. So don't be lazy. Think first, think high level, have the right inputs, visualize going through the process and the problem first. Surround yourself with high-level thinkers and doers, and it will propel you forward to accomplishing whatever it is that you want in life and a business.
Thanks for listening. For more from Chris and Taylor, visit trafficandfunnels.com and get a free gift just for being a subscriber. That's trafficandfunnels.com.
I think the key to winning in every area of your life, your business, your relationships, your influence is actually being selective in creating and curating and protecting the environment and the network you build for yourselves. It wasn't always this way. You couldn't just roll up to a party with John Rockefeller back in the day, 200 years ago. You couldn't buy an event ticket to learn from Cornelius Vanderbilt and the wealthiest people of the day and age. There were people at the top and people at the bottom, and the divide between these two classes was significant and difficult to overcome. One of the greatest strategies in today's environment, you can actually invest in being in the right rooms with the people you want to learn from. People who have done everything that you want to do. They've learned every lesson in the book and they've paid dearly for it. Why wouldn't you rather invest into learning from another person's mistakes? Grab the rule book, grab the recipe. And that's what this opportunity is all about, together as a group, mutually benefiting from everyone else's successes and failures. I hope that you're there.
Get more information and secure your spot at trafficandfunnels.com/braintrust. That's trafficandfunnels.com